Good evening, ladies. This evening, we, the Women's Committee of SEIU, we are here to talk about International Day for Women's Health. My name is Gloria Turney, and I'm your women's representative on your e-board. With me this evening is 6 dynamic women who are part of the Women's Committee. They are from Region 2, Deborah Garber, Region 3, Margaret Sudnick, Region 5, Barbara Saunders Scott, Region 6, Kaylin Campbell, Region 7, Sylvie Davy, and Region 8, Lisa Somerville. It's been almost 15 months that we have been working through COVID. And as you know, as frontline workers, a lot of women are single. They are the breadwinners, they are the mothers, they are the ones who take care of the home. And one of the things we're finding is that it has affected us mentally. So this evening, we're here to talk about how COVID has affected all of us women and our mental health. So this evening, I have some questions and the ladies are gonna express how they're feeling. Do you find working during COVID any different from working before COVID?
Yes, of course, it's different. I find being in long-term care that it's the isolation from staff to staff when we work on different floors. We're in different areas for breaks and we don't see each other pretty much the whole day. Our residents are isolated from other residents. They have friends on different floors. So now what we do, we video chat with them from different floors so that they can see their friends. It's just a whole new way of doing it. It's so much isolation, but like our activities are changing. There's only so many people allowed in an activity. We don't have the music groups coming and stuff like we used to have. Seems like we have the same activities over and over again for the residents. And now that it's getting a little bit easier out there, we've been doing animal Skypes with our pets and that for the residents. And we have more family caregivers coming into the building, but it's just more isolation and different protocols every time you turn around.
Thanks, Margaret. You know, as a caregiver, we tend to take care of everybody else. And what about us?
Going from client to client, they were worried about the client that I've seen before, if they were not well and on that, and and then being short-staffed because of mothers that had to be home for their kids because school was closed down. There was more clients that had to be seen. And I mean, going from one geo to another geo, back to another geo, it was just crazy. And then being afraid of catching it because I'm high risk, but I chose to continue to work so that my clients wouldn't get missed visits. And I was afraid of bringing it home to my family.
Absolutely. I find it very different. In the beginning, when the school shut down, it was like my kids had to be home and I had to do homeschooling, and I was trying to work and trying to be there for everybody. My clients, because I'm in community care, it's a lot different from the nursing homes and the group homes because they're in the community. Their community's been shut down. There's no day programs. They can't do their shopping. They can't be out integrated. And there was a lot of struggle on like, what can we do for the clients? And they were struggling with mental health. And I was trying to, do all these coaching calls and run stuff to them and not go in their apartments because I want to keep them safe, right? Because of where all the places that I'm going. And then just like in the beginning, I was absolutely terrified. I was terrified I was going to catch it. I was terrified I was going to bring it home. had thoughts of, sleeping in my car if I caught it, and who would care for my children. Like, just a lot of anxiety and panic, and trying to navigate everything with such heavy fear and anxiety for, doing a great job for my people, and then also like keeping my kids happy and healthy. They're ostracized and alone. I share a room with my daughter because I can't afford, to give her her own bedroom. Like, it's been really and work. I find that workplaces can be a little more flexible. Like, if I have to come in later in the day, or if I have to change my shift, like, I don't do a shift change. I'm not shifting anyone off on a group home, right? I'm just solely day shift. So I had to argue and fight with them to let me start at 12:30 and work till 7:30 so I could get my meals prepped in the morning for my children and make sure they have a good lunch and make sure they're all set for the day, and then come home and clean it all up. And it was a lot, a lot.
I can understand, Barbie. We've been going through this like for 15 months, and it has taken its toll on us as women. What are some of the issues that might have had an impact on your mental health during this time?
It was the unknown. I stressed out and worried about bringing it home to my mother because I'm her primary caregiver. I worried about bringing it to my family, not able to do our normal activities without where I am. My cousin and I do a barbecue every year, and it really impacted me this past year, not being able to get together and do those normal things.
Thank you. As we talk, one of the things that come to mind is like some of the things that affected us is that we were not respected. We were not given the proper PPE. Nobody really cared about us as frontline workers, that even though we were shouting, they were shouting, oh, you are, heroes, you are the best, but nobody really gave us the tools or anything to protect ourselves or to do the job in a safe way. We all went into it not knowing, and it's the unknown that has bothered a lot of people like myself. So it brings me to the next question. How has this affected your family? I mean, most of the women are single mothers, or they are the main, caregivers, breadwinners. How has this affected your family dynamics?
I have a new granddaughter that was just born last week, and I was lucky enough to be able to see her because I had to watch my other granddaughter because my son doesn't have anybody that can help him with his kids while my daughter-in-law was having the second one. So my first granddaughter has had both of her birthdays in COVID times. Everything has been done by Zoom. So I don't get to spend time the way I would like to. I didn't get to spend Christmas with my grandchildren. I didn't get to spend it with family. It was my husband and I and a turkey that neither of us ate. So I work Christmas, and it is the new normal for now, but it is very, very grating. I'm sure that my husband, as much as he loves me, probably doesn't like me at times, but like I literally this year just wanted to bury my head in the blankets when I came home from work and just be done with it at Christmas.
There was a lot of worries in my family. Who was still going to be able to go to work? How is everything going to get paid? We're a single income family with four adults living in the house. The kids are older teenagers, and then it was the worry of if my workplace is going to have the proper PPEs for me to wear in the morning. Am I going to be able to protect my residents and my family from bringing this home? It changed like everything in our entire life. I now started to change at work because we had to, but as soon as I came home, I would take my clothes off and put it in the washing machine and then jump in the shower. Like it was just for us, like our entire lifestyle changed. My husband is also high risk. So, we had to be careful where we went, who we were with all the time, constantly changing our clothes and washing. So I think those were the biggest ones for us, was just having to change everything. And, you know, am I going to be the one bringing this into my workplace, or am I going to be the one bringing it home to my family? I think the way we thought about how we did things was definitely a big change for everybody.
The first lockdown, my son was actually at his girlfriend's mother's place and she was pregnant and she wouldn't let him come home. So I mean, um, my kids mean everything to me, and not having him home, it really bugged me a lot. So I mean, yes, we did do the FaceTime and that, but it just wasn't the same.
Is there anything that would have lessened the mental health impact on you as a care worker?
Very first wave, I don't think that any of the employers were really stepping up to the plate to keep their staff safe. They did not provide enough PPE. They did not provide sufficient PPE. Like my first mask that I got because I was a clerk was essentially a piece of Kleenex with elastic on it. I worked 10 feet away from COVID positive patients from an outbreak at one of our nursing homes. I needed a better mask, bottom line. And the employer did not want to provide it to me. They questioned me when I said, I'm not using that mask. I will take the next step up that the nurses are using, because I am just as much at risk as nursing staff, PSWs, housekeepers. I was really angry because as a hospital worker, I'm so essential that I can't strike, but I'm not essential enough for giving me proper PPE. So that is mentally taxing when you're going in every day. And some of these patients were surprises. We had no idea that they were coming from a nursing home and that they were going to go to surgery. We had no idea. So when these people started arriving, my phone started to blow up with my members calling me and messaging me and like, did you know that we were getting COVID positive patients? No, I didn't. So it's frustrating that the employers, I don't know if it's because they don't know or if it's because they are trying to keep things hidden from its staff, but it's not acceptable. Like you cannot ask me to work in this and then not provide the things that are going to keep me safe.
Thank you. Barbara?
Yeah, so I can relate to everything everybody is saying. Also, I think, you know, what could have been done to lessen the impact on my mental health during the whole COVID thing. I definitely agree with PPE. I was like absolutely terrified. They were like, they took all our PPE out of all the houses and hid them at the main office for emergency only if somebody got COVID. Like it was really scary. And then I think also like sick time, you know, they could have given us more sick time. Some people didn't even have sick time, which used to just like anger me so much. But like, you need to have those days off. You need to have mental health days. You need to be able to know that you're going to get paid. But I think if people are allowed to have those breaks when everything's going really bad for you, like mentally and physically, and exhausted, I believe in a balanced lifestyle. And it's like Kaylin said, if we're so essential, if we're so needed and so cared for in these heroes, you know what? Give us some time off to rejuice, recuperate, rejuvenate, so we can get back on the front lines and do our job. Don't burn us out where we're thinking like, I need another job. I need to get the hell out of here. I don't want to die for 15 up 20 bucks an hour or whatever. It's not worth it to me. Like I was so terrified in the beginning. I'm like, I don't even want to do this job, scared for my life. But then it kicks in. I'm a caregiver. I love my clients and I wanted to be there with them as well. But yeah, sick days, absolutely. More money, absolutely. We did get the pandemic pay, but I mean that needs to go on. And I don't know, like I'm very aware of counseling, therapy, psychiatry, all those services that are out there for my children. I've done a lot of research And I'm telling you, the government needs to step up right now and start putting psychologists under the OHIP, because psychologists is what families need right now. We need that therapy. We need what psychologists have to offer. Those assessments, those art therapies for kids, those amazing things that they do are like $150 an hour. As a single mother, like my children have been asking me, Mom, I want to see a therapist. I want to see a therapist. And I'm like, I don't even know how to get that for them.
I agree with Barbie 100%. Some of the things that could have been better is the knowing that we had proper PPEs. I'm on the health and safety board, and a lot of the staff came up to me about different issues, like if we get COVID, where are we going to get changed? We don't have our building small, we don't have enough room. Like, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, but what's this going to happen with this? And just kept on going. So like, I'd go into a meeting and my boss would look at me like, that's a lot of questions. I said, yep. And I went around and asked everybody what they needed for themselves to feel good. And I want you to answer them. And a lot of them over time got answered, but of course, being new to COVID and all the protocols, we all had to wait. So it was just nerves of what was coming and what was the new changes. And like, we're so used to just giving a big old hug to our residents, and now we've got a mask and a shield on. So it's really hard.
For the lack of PPE, with our office, big home care, not always has the communication been followed through with. You have to track down any of the information you want. One thing I have missed has been our in-services and actually seeing my fellow coworkers face to face instead of possibly on the other end of a text message talking to them, not having the connection because we work apart. It has been the hardest part of all of it. Just not feeling connected and protected.
Definitely, because we sure saw that. No respect, no protection, and certainly we weren't paid for what we were doing. Okay, so we've come to what I'll say is the big question. What do you do as self-care, and how important is this? I'm going to start with you, Deborah.
I sit down and have a glass of wine. When I can, I'll have a soak in the tub. During the nice weather like now, I'll sit outside and enjoy the scenery. I live in the country and I try to enjoy the sounds of nature. And I find it very important for me to take a little time every day for myself, so that way I can recharge myself and be there for my family, my coworkers, and my patients alike.
Thank you. Margaret?
I'll come home and I'll get into a nice warm Epsom salt bath and just lay back there and relax and do a little bit of meditation.
Body, mind, spirit has to be connected for you to feel whole. So I joined a life coaching program through a friend, and I learned some tools to take better care of myself, my mental health, through her. That was online. Then she had a 21-day challenge to learn about prayer and how to get closer with God, the God of my faith, Christian. And that changed everything, hands down. Like, it lifted me like nothing else. And I feel so much more balanced and in touch and more patient. And I just feel more resilient. I trust. Like, I think for me, it was just having that trust that God has my back, that I am a perfect child, that, helped me not to come down on myself. Like, there was a lot of negativity against myself, like words I was using against myself. And people were noticing that, I was bringing myself down with the words that I was using. So That made a world of difference. The faith, the exercise.
So my husband and I are nature photographers, so we've been getting out a lot more now that it's beautiful out. We've been out doing some photography. I meditate every single day, every day, to keep myself mentally balanced.
Sylvie?
I was fortunate to take the Women's Advocate course through SEIU, and one of the focuses was self-care. So I've been practicing self-care for a few years, thank you to my union. So it's very important to me. It allows me time to reflect and wind down from my day. At this course, they gave us a journal, so I've been journaling since then. And I love to do that. And I pray to the Lord every day for his blessings, tinker with our 69 Chevy pickup truck. And of course, the almighty bubble bath with wine and a really good book.
Thank you. That's nice. Lisa?
Usually I get into the tub and soak, and sometimes I will have a glass of wine or coolers. Usually, I've got books on my phone that I get into reading, love novels on that, and movies, and usually sometimes I'll just go down to my bedroom, close the bedroom door, and just sit in there in the dark, just to, try and catch everything all up, try to get my mind to sort of shut down a bit. And that's about it.
Well, as we can all see, it's very important, to take care of yourselves, because we've spent so much time taking care of everybody else. And we realize that COVID and the last 15 months has taken a great toll mentally on all of us. None of us has been spared. For me, self-care is very important, because without self-care, that's when you go into depression. And I certainly don't want any of us to be in that spot. So I just want to thank you for taking the time out to have this really wonderful discussion. I'm just going to ask that on May 28th, International Day for Women's Health, that we all do something special for ourselves, whether it be going for a walk, having that glass of wine, call a friend up, because even though we can't physically get out there and be with them and hug them, just a phone call sometimes does a wonderful, wonderful lot. So again, ladies, I want to say thank you very much and enjoy your night. Thank you.